Well, it looks like there's been a change in the narrative as far as the efficacy of the COVID vaccines are concerned, as we have a number of high-profile people that have been double vaxxed, double boosted, and are still coming up with COVID. First Lady Jill Biden tests positive for COVID-19 and is now taking her Pfizer drug. So First Lady Jill tested positive about a month after her husband, President Joe, initially tested positive for the virus. And here we go out of NPR. Biden is still feeling well after testing positive for COVID again. I thought he wasn't supposed to get it if you'd been double vaxxed and double boosted. And then we have Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who led the charge to ban the unvaxxed from military, actually putting our national security at risk and getting rid of good men and women in the armed forces and kicking them out of the military, some of them without benefits. Gets sick for the second time. So that's a nice little dose of karma for him. Quadruple vax Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin cut off pay and benefits to over 62,000 unvaccinated Guard and Reserve soldiers last month. He revealed Monday that he's sick with the COVID for the second time. In a statement, Austin said he is fully vaccinated and has received 2 boosters. He said he'll quarantine for the next 5 days in accordance with the CDC guidelines and will retain all authorities and plan to maintain my normal work schedule virtually from home. Oh, I feel so much safer now that he's still working so hard for us. Well, what are you doing with those 62,000 good men and women that had to lose their jobs and their benefits, forced to take an experimental drug? Vaccinations continue to both slow the spread of COVID-19 and make its health effects less severe. Vaccination remains a medical requirement for our workforce, and I continue to encourage everyone to get fully vaccinated and boosted. Now we have quadruple vaccinated Pfizer CEO admits he tested positive for COVID-19. So the Pfizer chairman, Albert Bourla, has tested positive despite being quadruple vaxxed. He came out with a statement saying how thankful he was to have received 4 doses. He was under, I'll give him some props on that, because he was one of the holdouts for a while, and it was like this total hypocrisy that he's trying to get other people to take the drug, but he had not yet. So I'm proud of him that he's apparently done the 4 doses, but it seems to be not as effective as they tried to make it out to be. He's shamelessly plugging the Pfizer's new drug, and it's an embarrassing confession to say that the vaccines do not stop the spread or lower risk enough for the recipient that he or she does not have to take a therapeutic on top of that. It's an admission that the vaccines do not work as advertised. That's why these things take years to go through studies to make sure that they're test the efficacy. Of course, this is also an experimental mRNA gene therapy that we don't know with any kind of long-term studies, and they basically forced this upon the population. They tried to mandate this. People lost their jobs and livelihoods over this fucking thing. Here's a great little Simpsons meme, and you're hearing this so many times now that they're trying to backtrack. Yeah, say the line that you keep hearing this: I've got COVID, but I'm thankful I'm triple jabbed, or now quadruple jabbed, or it would have been worse. Oh, sure, really? Science doesn't add up. And you guys owe the American people a big apology. Here's shameless Rachel Maddow shoving her fucking arrogant propaganda down. So here's a nice video here from Anomaly as quadruple vaccinated politicians keep testing positive and shamelessly hawking Pfizer's new product. Let's not forget what they sold the public early on.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
Well, I'm not holding my breath, but it sure would be nice if people could come together, trust the science, trust their politicians, trust the people on the news, and trust their own doctors and make their own health decisions without the pressure. So it looks like it's backfiring badly, and it's a big dose of karma, but you know what? They all deserve it. So that's all I've got. We'll see what happens as this continues, as more problems are piling up and people are continuing to get COVID, and it looks like it's mostly the people that are triple and quadruple vaxxed, unfortunately. So it's been a very painful lesson. So as we stumble through our evolution here in humanity, and people are going to have to look at this someday and go, oh my God, all of the weird stuff that happened in the 2020s, it's only beginning, but hopefully the madness stops and we'll continue towards a better and brighter future. We shall see. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.